Hello, welcome again to the trial of Iris. Or still, I guess. Anyway, we are here to prove the truth. And to be honest, we don't have absolutely no idea what's going on. At least you don't have the absolute idea of what's going on. I have clear idea what's going on. Anyway, good morning. Are you all by yourself? Morning, bros. Mr. Nick, please tell me what's going to happen with Mystic Maya. I'm sorry, we don't know yet. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple. Oh, I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those strict locks into the training hall? No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can be in the inner temple. She required to be here in the court. Then how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby? To admit, it's kind of strange. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Edward? What's Iris doing over there? She's going over to lay testimony with the prosecutors as we speak. Lay testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what? The prosecutor is quizzing her for a confession. Also, I heard. Francisca on camera, what you're up to. So, I know what you are thinking, but Francisca isn't going to be the prosecutor today. What? Then who is it? Who else will be but G-O-D-O-T. Got it. Francisca is engaged into some important work at the Sacred Convent. The Sacred Convent? You don't mean that she... Exactly. She had been out there all night trying to remove those tricky locks. With a head non-assistant, naturally. We estimated that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. Oh, I hope everything continues to go smoothly as we receive some good news soon. Yeah, thanks, Edward. It's gonna be messy as hell. Prosecutor intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there is no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that, okay? Touché, I can already see it in your eyes. Are you guys ready? No, not the same fever-ridden frenetic manner you were yesterday. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I was ill. I just fall from into a river in full winter. It's strange on the way here I decided that today will be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. Maybe you pass your cold on to someone else, literally. And with that, I'll leave the rest into your capable hands, partner. I don't remember every details, but I remember the most important thing. I hope everything goes as I recall. If I mess up, I apologize. I still don't have the answer for most of the riddles plaguing this case. I have it, at least some of them. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Alice Duxnim, Miss Misty. The impossible fly Larry claims to have seen. This is true, by the way. This actually happened. And what that woman is really after. I will solve them all to bring this whole tragedy to an end. Just add some content. Court is now in session for the trial of Iris Hatsakura Temple. Your Honor, what are you... Oh, me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers early this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Oh, okay. Therefore, I'll be standing in for him. Oh, I see, Your Honor. So they are brothers. That explains a lot. My poor brother. He looked a bit pale, not to mention sad that he couldn't be here. You literally passed it to him. It's impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we, of the court, have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment. Well said, Mr. Gallo. I understand exactly what you said, at least up until the end anyway. Now then, Mr. Gallo, please proceed with your opening statement. Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There is only one thing that remains us constant in this crazy world. You sipping fucking coffee? The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug. Okay. So then, you mean, forget it? What do you mean? Yesterday trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime, but today she has had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make. Confession? The defendant? Iris. Why didn't she discuss this with me first? Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. About meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's once my rule, says one of my rules. My name is Iris. About a simple nun undergoing training at the Hazakura temple. Witness, is there something that you want to confess to? Yes, but first I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore. Mr. Wright, what is it? Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play part in this terrible incident. Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Alice Duxnim? No, I'm not, Your Honor. I dealt with a cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise. Okay. And carried to the Hazakura temple courtyard where they desecrated it. What? Order in court. Order. Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder? Yes, that's correct. Ah! 3 minutes ago, I'm already covered in cold sweat. Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. I just happen to be part. Sorry, it just happened to be, in this case, it's to murder. Motherfucker. Is that right, Mr. Wright? That girl. So this is the confession they were conferring about. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris' testimony was all a lie. Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question. Who's crying where you're trying to cover up by your action? Iris was crying for someone. No, I'm definitely up the creek without paddle of a life jacket. I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch of the grandparents in the Great Tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family. Sorry, but main family? Yes, and that's why I will dirty myself if I need to be protected. The daughter of the master of the Grand Channel Technique, Mystic Maya Fey. Huh? Another sip. Wake up and smell the coffee, right? She's naming Maya? So she's accusing Maya. Yeah, this is wrong. Order, cool. So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murder? I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. And then I cleaned up the hour to try to protect her. That's ridiculous. Okay. Eventually refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened to the night of the crime? Yes, Your Honor. I know it was prepared for the unexpected, but I never imagined the case would wind up in this direction. Yeah, I think I recall now. Yeah. Big sus. I went to the Aina temple that night, and I saw it all happening in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved into the delivery fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. I was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it. So it was in self-defense? Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. Huh? That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya. You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya would be suspected. Is that right? Not bad, you got the instinct of a true criminal. Something not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night, and that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it. Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. The real murderer. I went to the inner temple that night. Yeah. She moved into the delivery of fatal strike. Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon. Wait a minute. What was this weapon? It was some kind of dagger. A dagger? Huh. And at least Dexan tried to stab her with this weapon. To kill Miss Fey? Yes, exactly. Huh. That's something weird. But like, you look like I did it after I mistakenly took us with the Worcestershire sauce. Huh? You have a problem with the testimony we are hearing from your client, your boy. You have a problem? Yes. Well, I have. Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness testimony. You do? But this witness is your own client. Yes, well, nevertheless, that's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony. Yes, sir. Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that. Listen, Gramps. I won't say it. Final judgment will be rendered by me. Okay, now let's continue. Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events. Huh? Miss Deoxys throwing her stuff away makes no sense at all to me. But all you can do with that stuff is hit someone. Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's stab had a special feature about it. And you can see it's a sword. Ah? If Elise Deoxys really had wanted to kill Maya Fey, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Then she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Oh. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say?
Objection!
That was an impressive bit of investigating, right? I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in that stuff. But even so, how should I put this? The long sword is unwieldy. Unwieldy. That's quite an effective close quarters combat. Maybe it's why she chose a dagger over her blade. Well. Anyway, the type of weapon she chooses to use isn't what is important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony. There is something strange about this whole testimony. Well, Miss Wright, the prosecution has a point. Very well, your court. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument. Mr. Wright, however, another piece of evidence that shows that these testimonies can be trusted. Because Miss Alex will never attempt to take life of Maya Fey. For a simple reason.
Take that!
Elise Deoxys will never have attacked Maya Fey. How can you be so sure? Because the victim's real name was not Elise Deoxys. Her real name was Misty Fey. Fey? Ah! No! Not Mystic Misty Fey. Mystic Misty Fey. Who is this Misty Fey? Is she related to? Misty Fey is the master of the green channeling technique. She's also the mother of Maya Fey. Are you serious? Is this really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elise Deoxys actually the great Mystic? There's no doubt about it. It looks like Iris had no idea. I can hardly believe it. The idea that she will try to kill her only daughter when she hadn't seen 70 years. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing. Come on, too. Order, and good. Upon first hearing the witness testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that are just being presented, one, that the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and two, that the two people battled to death were mother and daughter, despite the fact of being believable when taken on their own. When taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. Listen, there is nothing in this world that is impossible, except for one little thing. Yes, what is the one little impossible thing? Huh, you still don't get it. Yeah, I still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are under toast, but you have no idea, Garams. Could you get you to your point? I heard this witness confession this morning. Just as I had taken first sip of my 8 cup of morning coffee. Oh, 8 cup of morning coffee. 8 cup. How the fuck your heart is still fucking breathing? Beating. Breathing. Your heart is breathing. You're going to... It's fumigating. Fumigating, I'm using all words incorrectly. You're going to ruin your health, my friend. Yes, I agree. Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loved to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And, he discovered this little beauty. Is that dagger the witness testified to seeing? Obviously, Your Honor, but do you not notice something else? Not that you mentioned that. It looks closely, there appears to be blood on it. Do we know whose blood it is? Where do you find that? You see when I investigated the crime scene. You investigate the pine tree of the crime scene? Pine tree? The pine tree? Oh, that pine tree. His dagger was stuck in the back side of the pine tree. And the last blow was struck and the violent battle between the two women. The little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree. which means the blood on this dagger belongs to the victim, correct? Huh. Were you even listening, old man? I first heard his confession this morning, because I had taken first sip of my 13th cup. Not that many! Jesus Christ! They're like multiplying exponentially. It's scary! Dodo, Jesus, chill! Did you just say your age just a few minutes ago? Did you have enough time to get blood analyzed on such sharp artists? In any case, go will outside the dagger's evidence. So, hypothetically, should be Maya's blood on there, right? Furthermore, I ordered that blood test be performed on it immediately. This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right. Well, if you get this piece of evidence to a crime lab for testing immediately. Okay, thank you. Now then, there's $100 question. Testimony we are just heard had numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found a very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible. Or somehow acceptable. Good girls never lie, ever. In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to this court. About what, Your Honor? About the incident you saw, the battle between the two women. Yes, Your Honor. The battle. Missy Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. Okay, that's weird. But then she dodged Miss Elise next star and stole her weapon. What weapon? The dagger? Suddenly Miss Elise was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. And she stabbed her. That's weird. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Miss Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. Okay, that's impossible. That was a very heartbroken story. I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore. That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Anyway. So, this is impossible because she was stabbed in the back. So, where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Objection!
How can you stab her? Something about you just isn't right today, Alice. Huh? Huh? Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions. What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony? According to you, Maya Faye stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct? Yes, that's right. But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right? Yes, I think so. But according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a backstab wound in her back. This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Alice, it appears another civil doubt has sprouted from your testimony. You notice something weird. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? Huh, it's simple. I smell my coffee. People are like books. We all will go front and back. You get my drift? No. Actually, no. That's all you have to say. Can also say that the darkness loves to play with the human mind. Okay, could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and logical metaphors already? I should do this. This should be my persona giving like illogical mumbling, saying weird shit. It's like this is like the dog, but unlikely God. Something like that. Something stupid as fuck. So, I will think about it. We'll realize that. It's like we're gonna figure it out. Don't worry about it. The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useful stuff to people fighting being mother and daughter. And now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the fucking stomach. There is certainly some inconsistency. Well, Iris, how about it? Well, it's just... If you ask me, you are just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? There are 253 distinctly type of bitterness in coffee. Okay. Now you're now you're fucking back. And you exaggerate. But because each one requires total concentration and the use of all the senses. Were you really concentrating on what these witnesses have to present? Prosecutor Odo, explain yourself. The witness was quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light. Light, huh? By the way, did you know? Asakura has a rule that on nights when the Anakula is at the inner temple training, the stone ladder in the garden must be kept lit. Okay. I did wonder what the stone lantern was there for. Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly? Oh, well, yes, Your Honor. According to the head nun, Sister Bikini, at the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern. Impossible? It hadn't been used in a long time, and so the wick was no good. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all. Most enlightening. Yes, the illuminating fact had chased all the contradictions away. If the stuff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Is that right? Right. No! Order! Hey, Your Honor. Let me present the stone lantern into the evidence. Maybe I will rekindle the flame of the truth in your mind. Okay. Why is the judge just getting there with that look on his face? What's wrong, Your Honor? Was the flame too hot? This lantern. There's something written on it. But what? It's written in blood! Oh boy. Oh gosh. So the judge didn't know about that yet. Written? In blood? It says Maya upside down. What the? Oh yes, that's right. After being cornered and then stabbed by Mystic Maya, Misty Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing that on the stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body. It certainly looks that way.
Objection!
Hang on just a minute. What you're all talking about? What do you mean, what are you talking about? We're talking about the message written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern is as clean as a whistle. She can't see the bloody writing on the wall. But I think about it, he says something like that yesterday. That he can all see red. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. So that's what he meant by that. In any case, this is obviously an important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark, and that the victim scrawled his message on the stone lantern. Well, Mr. Goto, anything further? Mr. Goto? Okay then, let's move on. Ho ho ho. God is literally shaking, and somehow I don't think he's from caffeine overdose. Strangely enough, I believe it would be malt overdose, but okay. I believe it has now been established that Mr. Doxing was killed by Maya Fey. That's just wrong. Now it's time to turn our attention to you. Yes, sir. After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears. After Mr. Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Green Channeling. Now I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across the dusty bridge. Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple and used the Shinshitsu to alter the way the wound looked. So you moved the body? Yes, I was raised at the Hazakura Temple. I have a great deal to thanks to the fake canon. But even so, I never imagined that Lise Deoxen was actually Misty Fae. I've committed a terrible sin. A terrible trick of fate. I believe you are looking for a twist of fate, Your Honor. I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but you were spotted by the head nun, correct? Yes, and that's why I couldn't go back. Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Then there's no one to pay bill. Knew that will show up sooner or later. Yes, I had the key. I guess there's nobody to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge. It's part of the ways question the other day. Should I ask for more details about the tracks? If you really move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right? Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks. These pictures were presented yesterday at trial. Are these tracks from the ride? Yes, I think they are. But I can only see one set of tracks here. I don't see what's so strange about it. No, was still falling when I left Hazakura Temple. I see. It was still falling, huh? Then when the murder took place, it had already stopped. That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks. How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony? When the murder took place, the snow already stopped. That doesn't make sense if you stuck it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I'd like to state that my Iris just made that added to the testimony. Does it have something to do with the case? No, we'll be clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record. Huh, this should be fun. Who's the guys making the coffee to him, like this no business cleared up, shall we? Like, there must be someone just throwing coffee at him. Yes, sir. Oh, no, what do you think about the winter schedule? Okay, never mind. I did a mistake. You claim that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred, but surely, Iris, that is impossible. What? This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to these, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusk Bridge at the time. Why do you say that? Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and a car on fire. What do you say? The bridge? It was on fire? You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It's because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down. What? But it can't be. It looks like you still haven't figured it out, huh? No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the whole wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney. No! Order. The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside. There's no way you will have crossed the bridge body or not body. Witness, even my patience has its limits, and if I lie, I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say yourself?
Objection!
The only person here is that is truly contemptible is you. Oh man, what? Wait, what? Me? How dare you? Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean a squat right now. Squat? The important thing now is to find out the truth, isn't that right? Yes, of course, but whether it was snowy or not snowy, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can be disputed. First, the body of Elise Deoxys was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard, and the second, it had none since the bikini. Ouch, my eyes. Witness Iris desecrated Alice Deoxys' body. Makes a good point, both counts. That's right, I'm not lying. What are you claiming this time? It wasn't myself at all, right? So my memory still somehow crazy. You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. You're telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy. It is only human to her. But you are so perfect, right? Maybe you can explain this for the court. What is it? When the murder happened, the bridge had already burned down. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick? Well, not exactly, no. No, there must be some other way she got across that burned out bridge. Unless I can somehow demonstrate it, well, I'll never know the truth. Looks like the defense don't prepare offers a suitable explanation. We have one, but it's terrible and horrifying. You see what I mean, in other words? You are in no position to suggest that this lady testimony isn't the truth. Alright then, witness, let's hear your testimony once more. Oh, what, Your Honor? You admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather larger inconsistency. Please add that explanation for that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Will this be her final testimony? I believe so. Other than walking over the bridge, there is no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was there no still falling or had it stopped, or does it really matter that much? Or are you saying that there is a way to cross a burning bridge? So it was just a misunderstanding, I see. It's a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident. It certainly was burnt for crisp, and on the suspension wires either snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall. Clearly it will be impossible to carry a corpse across the bridge in this condition. Unless I do something to discredit his testimony, it's going to be deemed the truth. And Maya will be accused of murder. Right, I'm only going to say it one more time. It is only human to err, and only humans can spot errors on our ways. The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes. Alright, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination. I told you you're gonna get very much worse. Had that boy flying over that burning bridge. Won't exactly rule out a possibility. What? Huh, now we are playing cool. You're saying it's possible to me. Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's being pulled out of thin air. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen. Who is it? Who's this witness? I can't chicken out here. Gotta keep on attack and go, go, go. Miss Alice Duxton, brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Loris Duxton. Brilliant? Highly gifted? Apprentice? Remember what he said in his testimony. That night he was at the mountain shack, heavily holed. And that's when he witnessed the event. I think you all seen this sketch before. It takes out drawing of what he witnessed that night. Are you serious? Today is no April Fool's, isn't it? Mr. Wright! Nice mate. Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? No, you're not. What the hell am I talking about? Are you using this pathetic scribble to support your argument? Oh, the judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket. Huh. Well tried. There is nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 60-year-old. Does this sketch preserve anything? Yes. I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm going to prove it. Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. If you are so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with this sketch? Upside down? Why did Godo say that? Alright then, let's hear the defense theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show? I don't think old Whisker Face is going to forgive any more mistakes. Alright Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. The sketch drawn Loris is... exactly what happened. Of course the victim was flying through the air. You can see it right there in the sketch. You know, you're starting to remind me of yesterday's victims. What? That was the last thing I wanted to do. You have any evidence the victim flew through the air? So, you know? You haven't discovered a giant human catapult at the inner temple yet? I wish they had. That would make everything so much easier. If you are a lousy lawyer, at least you are 1 cup's worth of entertainment. I think we should skip the penalty this time. There must be some way, I just know it. There must be a way that this sketch showed the truth of what happened. Alright then. The witness will now return to her testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Wait, what? Wait, what? I'm so confused. It was a mistake.
Objection!
Something's obviously funny about this sketch. What? It's not creative, but even I can see that. No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Loris Dixon stated over and over that his sketch was exactly what he saw. However, if we believe this testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. Contradicts reality? Huh. This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to the finger pointing thing again. Okay, right. So what exactly contradicts reality as we know it? The girl flying? The flying figures, naturally. After all, people haven't learned to fly yet, or did I miss something? Is the right answer just now? It was sleeping. Ah, my life. So it was embarrassing. So embarrassing, actually blushing. Well, she only sees woman, not the elderly. Point to something else. Your Honor, please give me one more chance. Upside down. How do I say it's upside down, actually? You know what you are saying this time? Yeah, well, whatever. The bridge. Take that! Bridge? Believe it's somewhere around here, maybe? Somewhere, maybe. Well, the artist responsible for this sketch is a bit of a walking contradiction. It's difficult to put out where the contradicts and the truth. Enough with the psycho bubble. Ouch. After dragging us away to this point, the answer was embarrassing. I was so embarrassing, actually blushing, so he said the same thing. Actually, do I point the thing? Take that! This wire connected to the bridge. The wire? Huh. Is the thing that contradicts reality? It is indeed. Then show us the reality it's supposed to conflict with. Show us something that will point out how sketch contradicts. Dusky bridge? Take that! That's a photo of the Dusky bridge, correct? Yes, now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky bridge, jumping Jehoshaphat! The wires are below the guard wires. What? So he basically draws the thing upside down. Order! The sketches are somehow different than what's depicted in the photo. However, this is likely that the artist just saw it wrong. Or perhaps you just drew it wrong. Either way, it sounds like you are just wrong. With some like Loris, I admit mistake is definitely a possibility. But then begs the question, why did he make that mistake? What was the reason? Are you saying that you know the answer to that? Listen, think back, alright? Remember that Loris was doing what he witnessed this event? He was in Emily Hall waiting for her lover and was never going to home. Come, whatever. He waited and then finally he lay down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now ponder what sort of position Loris must have been in at the time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembers the scene the way he did. He was lying on his back, I can't see how it relates. But it does, Your Honor. That is the reason why the wires in the sketch go upside instead of down. What? No way. Loris Dixon witnessed the events while he was lying on his back face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down. So then, the sketch should actually... I think you'll finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Loris Dixon's sketch is like this. This is how it should actually look. The victim body wasn't flying above the bridge, it was actually swinging below. That's right, just like a pendulum. Order. Multi things to say, a pendulum? The bridge was burning to a crisp, but there was no way to get across it. If the body has been found in the temple, you will have cause problem. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. Use the burning bridge to get the body across the other side. The pendulum was the only way to get it done.
Objection!
Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Nasky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff. That sounds right. In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you have to plan ahead. The lightning strike can only have to be the answer. It doesn't make sense that Kobe would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then... You have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them. What? I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there. In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us explanation to support your theory. What makes you think the criminal had the rope hand to create the pendulum? He used one of the wires. And the meaning of this? If you want to know where the rope came from, and you're right in front of your glorious beard. Ah, this is one of the wires from the bridge. When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around his Dexnomian's body. I'm sorry, it looks so ridiculous. Because there was simply no other way to move the body. It looks so a tentacle of something on fire, a tentacle try to grab a person in the heated, I don't know. So much coffee. Mr. Godo! How long is that fucking coffee? It seems that Mr. Godo is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. It seems that the odds of rope being readily available were very high, so I suppose that it's not an impossibility after all.
Objection!
Possible or impossible? That's not a question you need to ask. There's only one question. Did that really happen? Right, I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence? The body's swinging over like a pendulum. You mean the bull?
Take that!
Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. 5 yards long. Looking at the map, we can see one way from the inner temple. But then, was the spot where the criminal was? Precisely. Now let's consider the body movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from this point there, it will drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point. Did you say drop? Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank. What? What makes you think something like that happened? Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance. What kind of evidence? Well, her body. Take a look at this autopsy report. Say here, her body fell about 10 feet after her death. 10 feet? Huh? That's most likely the high difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. And as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. That's... Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off of Miss Alice Doxim stuff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found. Indeed. It was found here. The crystal was found here. Aha, yeah, precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot the pendulum will arrive, it will be given the right amount of speed. This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You have provided us with a way to body... What the hell was that? Did you just slapped something? It's provided us with a way of the body could have been moved that night. Just random slap sound. Impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear. Mr. Wright! Oh, it was the coffee. That is cool. I thought this cool coffee. Cold. Might have cool you off now. What's the meaning of this, Mr. Goddard? I was a dark and bitter guest that you met, right? You forgot about one thing, huh? And what about would that be? The aroma. Huh? Excusez-moi, Godot. The coffee most rare accomplices its depth and profound aroma. The rest of the court doesn't speak Coffinese? Can you elaborate a bit more? If the criminal has sent the body to the other side like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying to wait to catch it. An accomplice. The criminal was unable to cross Dusky Bridge. So, who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, right? Wait, didn't Iris did that? Mr. God is correct. This can be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do. Yes, Your Honor. What he could have made to Hazakura Temple without an accomplice. Very well then, if you please, Mr. Wright. Who has supposed to receive the...
Take that!
They call it BU, Sister Iris. Huh? But I don't see why you are so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad luck, bad back, since the beginning could never pick up a body like that. There's only one who could have managed it.
Objection!
Tried, were you even listening to the witness testimony? On the night of the crime, the little cute one was on the clean-up duty in the inner temple garden after the mother's daughter blocked her.
Objection!
Haven't forgot, but have you, Mr. God? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple. Desecrated the corpse of the victim. Strange indeed, it's almost as if on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time. Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? The pendulum, of course. Is it the sketch drawn by an eyewitness? You have established how the body was moved using the burnout bridge, which means it's now a fact that this occurred, something you should have already known. No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum. But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help. So you should have known about it. In fact, it's impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you are not really Iris to begin with. What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying this witness is an Iris of Hazakura Temple?
Objection!
Are you serious? Right? You mean this woman is... There's no one beside Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it now. I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole time. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman that's standing there at the eyes as the witness stand. Her real name is... Yeah, I had the feeling. You had the feeling? I had the feeling. You had the feeling? It's weird, right? And I thought I have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. Hawthorne? Sister Iris had a twin sister. And you are looking at her, Mr. Dahlia Hawthorne. That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless. A serial killer there. Just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh yes, I remember now. That case 5 years ago. My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. Just want to say I'm honored for me to be here in your noble presence. The honor is all mine. No, the honor is all mine. Oh yeah, I changed the code. But according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead, since her execution was carried out last month. So what? That has no meaning, this courtroom. What? Wait a moment. How can you? My sister, she's already dead. What kind of... You all people should already understand after all. The blood of the master of the grain channeling technique flows within that body. The grain channeling technique? Now where I have heard that? The dear 6 incident, goddammit. That's right, you are not Dahlia Hawthorne yourself. You are spirit of Dahlia, currently inhabiting the body of a spirit needle. What exciting story, exciting but not impossible. You're asking us to buy a Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone. On the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister was. Well, if you are going to put things that way, then yes. We are supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happened? Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. There's all written right in these instructions. Ah, what's that? These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And part of a plan called the Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there was no irises at the Hazakura Temple. 2 of them. Even the time of the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 PM, However, Iris was seen before dinner time. That means the Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris. The Iris who gave me this food in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning the Iris sister beginning sought in the temple. Or someone else dresses her, namely, one Dahlia Hartwell.
Objection!
You even know what you're saying, right? This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hartwell business. Yes, it's true that you found plans that talk about it. However, there's one thing that is perfectly clear. The witness currently standing is the real Iris. What? Calm down, remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Kane Dahlia Houghton, that had been channeled, Oda had been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. It's so weird! Yeet! Yeet! It's so weird! It was later the body was moved to pan by pan. So weird, this animation, that's right. Naturally, that will mean the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far? Yes. After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. They found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center. Yes, I suppose I can deny any of that. You, thank goodness. Looks like you're finally convinced. But something still seems way off. I'm still not convinced that the Iris here is the same one from the other night. Huh. I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous. Yes, I am. Like the real Iris and the spirits of Dahlia. Somehow switch places? Which places? To be perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do now. That unless we confirm the Winter's identity, we can't continue with this trial. Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere. Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple, had there been a chance for Iris to switch places with Dahlia Houghton? There was one. Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance. Oh, explain yourself. Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris' whereabouts were unknown. Unknown? What do you mean? What I mean is, there was a span of time which Iris was able to move about freely and unsupervised. Well, who was it? Who could have given the suspect time to move about freely like that? I'm sorry, I know you didn't mean to, it was not your fault. The person who gave the chance to freely move was the... where is it? There we go. This is Mr. Edward, isn't it? Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not? An earthquake, hmm? Oh my goodness, they're in the temple! Paul Miles. How could I have? She fled, she escaped. We went to the inner temple right away. And this is true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived to the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Houghton. That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here, don't judge. Be quiet. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge. That voice. Guess I have to ask again. About meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. Oh, the sound right. Dahlia Houghton and my current profession. Permanently retired. Huh. So you are not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh? Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me. What is going on here? Dahlia Houghton. I never thought that we met again. I never thought we'd meet like this. But this time I'll end it for her and for myself. Finish it! Now we continue! Ladies and gentlemen, we are to the end of the episode right now, right here. I'm so sorry. This is the cliffhanger of today. Don't worry, everything will be clear tomorrow. And you'll know everything there's been to know. Happy dreams.